Lost Broom of the Witch. In the enchanting town of Moonhaven, where jack-o'-lanterns flickered with a light that seemed to dance with mischievous shadows, young Wendy was preparing for the most thrilling night of the year, Halloween. This was no ordinary evening, for it was the night of the Flight of the Witches, a spectacle where all the young witches showcased their magical prowess, soaring high into the night sky. But Wendy's excitement turned to dismay when she reached for her broom, the key to her magical abilities, and found it missing. Wendy's little heart thudded in panic. Her room, usually a whirlwind of sparkling potions and mystical books, felt unusually silent. The broom wasn't just a tool, it was part of her, a gift from her grandmother, crafted from the rare whispering willows of the western woods, enchanted to bond with its owner. Without it, not only would she miss the flight, but her magic would be greatly diminished. Jasper, her black cat with eyes like polished moonstones, sensed her distress and jumped onto her lap, purring in an attempt to soothe her nerves. "Oh, Jasper," Wendy sighed, stroking his sleek fur. "What am I to do? The flight is at dawn." Just then, Luna burst through the door, her cheeks flushed with excitement. "Wendy, it's almost time. Why aren't you ready?" she exclaimed, then noticed her friend's tear-streaked face. "What happened?" After Wendy explained, Luna's expression turned from excitement to determination. "We'll just have to find it, won't we? And fast." Luna was not one to shy away from an adventure or a challenge. Bundled up in their cloaks, with Jasper snug in Wendy's backpack peeking out, the trio set out into the chilly night. Moonhaven was transformed under the Halloween moon, with creatures of the night and wandering spirits making themselves seen to those who dared to look. The town was alive with enchantment, but under the beauty and festivities, a shadow lurked. Someone or something had taken Wendy's broom. Their first stop was the ancient library, where the wise old owl, Mr. Hoots, resided among scrolls and magical tomes. "Ah, a missing broom on Halloween. Check the lair of the Mischievous Imps," he advised, after listening to Wendy's plight. "But beware, they are tricky and love riddles. You must outsmart them." Thanking Mr. Hoots, Wendy felt a flicker of hope. They navigated through the whispering woods, where each step was guided by the soft glow of enchanted fireflies. Luna led boldly, her eyes scanning for signs of the imps or the stolen broom, while Jasper's ears twitched at every rustle, his senses alert to danger or deceit. As they approached a clearing, a sudden laughter echoed around them. The mischievous imps were near, and the game was about to begin. With the imps' laughter echoing through the trees, Wendy, Luna, and Jasper moved cautiously into the clearing. The mischievous imps had conjured up a circle of swirling fog, which twinkled with eerie lights, and at the center sat Wendy's broom, propped up like a trophy. Luna stepped forward, her eyes narrowed. "Give back the broom, imps! You can't just take things that don't belong to you." Out of the fog stepped 3 grinning figures, each barely taller than a hedgehog, but with wide-brimmed hats, striped stockings, and mischievous grins. Their leader, Pippin, twirled a tiny wand between his fingers and said, "Give it back? Now, where's the fun in that?" He turned to his comrades, who snickered and nudged each other. Wendy bit her lip, knowing the imps wouldn't surrender easily. Jasper growled softly from her backpack, and Wendy's fingers curled around her cat's fur, drawing comfort from his warmth. "What will it take for you to return my broom?" she asked, stepping closer. The imps whispered among themselves, their gleeful chatter like the rustling of leaves. Pippin turned back to Wendy, his eyes gleaming with mischief. "Solve our riddles, witch, and the broom is yours. But fail, and we'll keep it forever." Wendy took a deep breath and nodded. Luna squeezed her friend's hand for reassurance. "We'll figure this out together." Pippin clapped his hands, and the fog swirled to form shapes in the air, creating the first riddle. "I dance on rooftops, flicker in lamps, yet in water I find my lamp. What am I?" Jasper's ears twitched, and Luna leaned closer to whisper in Wendy's ear, "Fire! The answer is fire." "Fire!" Wendy declared confidently. The fog twisted and evaporated, revealing the second riddle. Always hungry, always eating, never full, yet never breathing. What am I? Wendy furrowed her brow, but Luna snapped her fingers. "A furnace!" Wendy called out the answer, and the imp's laughter faltered as the fog swirled again to form the final riddle. "I'm full of keys but can't unlock. I can play but never talk. What am I?" Wendy hesitated, her fingers tracing the invisible pattern of keys in the air. She thought about the imps and their tricks, how they used their cunning to deceive and confuse. But this was simpler. "A piano!" The fog dissipated completely, and the imps scowled. "Fine. You've won this time," Pippin muttered, grudgingly handing Wendy the broom. "But remember, we'll always be watching." With that, they vanished into the night. Wendy held her broom close, feeling its familiar hum of magic return to her fingertips. She turned to Luna and Jasper with a grin. "Let's get back to town before dawn." The three hurried back through the whispering woods, finally emerging into Moonhaven just as the first glow of sunrise began to creep over the rooftops. The streets were filled with witches preparing for the flight, their brooms at the ready. Wendy mounted her broom with renewed confidence, knowing she was capable of more than she had imagined. With Luna waving below and Jasper perched comfortably in her backpack, she rose into the sky among the other witches, her heart soaring as high as her broom. As Wendy ascended into the early morning sky, her fellow witches cheered, their brooms leaving trails of sparkling magic in the air. Below her, Moonhaven looked like a patchwork of orange and black, the town still bustling with the remnants of Halloween night. Wendy felt the warmth of the rising sun on her face and the cool breeze against her skin, a mix that felt like freedom. Up here, with the world spread out beneath her and the horizon stretching endlessly, Wendy's recent trials seemed small. She had faced the mischievous imps with courage and cleverness, and she had succeeded not just because of her own skills, but because of the unwavering support of her friends. As she flew in elegant loops and graceful arcs, Wendy realized something profound. Her magic wasn't solely in her broom. It was in her spirit, her intelligence, and her heart. The broom was merely an extension of the magic she wielded within herself, a realization that deepened her connection to her craft. Down below, Luna and the townsfolk gathered to watch the spectacle. Luna's eyes sparkled with pride as she watched her best friend perform maneuvers that drew gasps and applause from the crowd. Jasper, ever the protective companion, watched intently, his tail flicking with each of Wendy's daring swoops. The flight of the witches culminated in a grand finale where each witch demonstrated their unique magic. When it was Wendy's turn, she took a deep breath and decided to try something she had never done before. Drawing on her newfound confidence, Wendy commanded her broom to soar higher and higher, then directed it to swoop down in a dazzling spiral. As she did, she released a burst of multicolored sparks from her fingertips, creating a brilliant display of light that painted the sky. The crowd erupted in cheers, and Wendy landed amid their praises, her cheeks flushed with excitement and pride. The other witches gathered around her, their faces alight with admiration and curiosity. "Wendy, that was incredible! How did you manage such a display?" one of the older witches asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Wendy smiled, her eyes finding Luna and Jasper in the crowd. "I learned that my magic comes from more than just my broom. It's in every part of me, and my friends helped me see that." The elder witch nodded, impressed. "Very wise, young Wendy. You'll make a fine witch indeed." As the celebrations continued, Wendy, Luna, and Jasper enjoyed treats and laughter, basking in the joy of the festival. They had not only recovered the lost broom, but had discovered much about themselves and the bonds that held them together. When the sun was high in the sky, marking the end of the festivities, Wendy felt a contentment that went deeper than the day's success. She had faced her fears, solved difficult riddles, and flown higher than ever before. Most importantly, she had strengthened the ties of friendship and trust that would support her in all her future magical endeavors. As the trio walked home, the streets of Moonhaven quieter now, Wendy felt a profound sense of peace. The adventure had taught her that with a brave heart, a quick mind, and loyal friends, there was no challenge too great, no night too dark, and no height too daunting to reach.